communications in the modern age is a tough, rough business.
There was a time when we were in the back foot.
If you think that you are going to have beautiful headlines every day, you are not living on this planet.
There are people who have views, there are journalists who have views, there are members of the public, locally and internationally, who've got views. So we decided that we have to be on the front foot all the time. We put a plan together and we said, with this plan, we are not going to be distracted by the detractors or the criticisms.
If you have your course set and you are going to stage this World Cup and your objective is to stage the best World Cup there's ever been, just get on and do it your way.
I said, okay, let's have 5 divisions. And those 5 divisions will specialize in what they are expecting. We'll have a group of writers whose job is content development. For example, to write press releases, to make sure that they form an archiving and photo division, to make sure that they have a video team that records everything that we do, also to have a photographic unit to make sure that all our events and press conferences or newsworthy events are captured when it comes to pictures and also to video. That was quite important. When we then decided to have a photo archive where pictures are there for everyone to use, but not for commercial purposes, we were a hit when it comes to the journalists who wanted pictures. For example, we were first to provide them with pictures of the new stadiums. We were forced to provide them with any pictures they wanted where they may not be available. The journalists found this actually very useful. Then you have the media relations department, who would then look at what are issues on the agenda of journalists and members of the public. Then we would ask the content unit to write a story or a column or a piece to be able to change or portray what we want to portray. So these 2 units worked very well to make sure that our messaging stayed intact all the time and we delivered what we wanted to deliver all the time.
I think we've spoken a lot about the security aspects of that game. I think that's been handled, but we're certainly working closely with the German and British police on that matter, and we're confident that any issues that arise will be resolved.
But then they were supported by 3 others. IT&T, whose job is to prepare for the coverage of the tournament when it does actually begin.
The media is not a business opportunity, they're not a revenue opportunity, but they're actually a partner in making the event work. And once you recognize the media as your partner and your friends, then you work with them. What do they need to be able to cover the World Cup properly? Looking at what happened in Germany and at Euro, we early on took the decision that first thing, we must provide free internet to the media.
We've made sure that every working station is connected with VLAN and also wireless connectivity within the SMC, Tribune, Mixed On and Press Conference. And we've also made sure that every workstation has got power, and we've used the Shuka connectivity, which is an international standard. And we've informed media, they've come equipped. Yes, we've had a couple of challenges where guys have not come with the relevant adapters, but we've managed that on site. It's part of our job.
I think they've all done a good job. I think the organizing committee can be very proud. In South Africa, as a country, we can all be proud. We've defied what the critics were saying building up to the World Cup, and I think this will go down as one of the best World Cups ever. Everything went well.
I think fantastic so far. I can't complain. Yeah, I was busy in Rustenburg for the past 3 weeks. Yeah, everything went well. I can't say, I'm dissatisfied.
This has been a phenomenal experience, and it cannot be compared to anything else, any other event. And you have to pinch yourself to realize that, am I really in South Africa? Am I really sitting in our very own stadium? And then the atmosphere with all of the supporters from different countries. It feels like it's surreal. The feeling is very surreal, but it's an amazing experience. And the infrastructure has a lot to do with it. And the organization, I must say, is out of the world.
Everything's fine. The information we get regarding printouts of team lineups, statistics, things like that, everything's great. Everything's clean. Everything seems to be working fine. So I think it's up to scratch.
I've always had faith in our country, always. I mean, we've done stadium inspections prior to the event and facilities inspections, and there was a lot of doubt. But I've always been confident that we as South Africans are more than capable of delivering, and we've proven that to the world.
Then there was the media operations department. Their job is to make sure that the infrastructure is ready, that the accreditation of all the journalists is done together with FIFA.
I think the infrastructure, the working environment for media, because that's most important, to make sure that the international and local media feel comfortable in the areas, the spaces that they work in, because this is an office away from office type of thing.
The venue has media facilities, the SMC, which is basically the home of all the media people. 2 is the mix zone, which is inside the stadium, and 3 media tribune, and 4 the pitch, and then the press conference. So all those areas belong to media. They are under media facilities.
Of the food, it's been a great organization, but the LOC, fantastic.
It has been well prepared, eh? Everything has been planned very well.
Seeing the satisfaction and smiles on the media, or just getting a little bit of a thank you and a pat from the media to say, look, hey, I covered the game, I enjoyed it, and I was able to find my seat in the tribune, and I found my story, or I wrote my story. That gives satisfaction. That's for me, it's been the highlight.
Then they were joined by the broadcast unit.
The primary coverage is provided by the host broadcaster with 32 cameras. The other broadcaster is allowed to supplement those cameras. So we need space to accommodate them. We have to look at cable routes. How do we get all those cables into the stadium? So we provide cable bridges that need to be built. And so then we define camera positions around the stadium. Obviously, we have to do this before a ticket can be sold.
It is always important that whenever you run or you are asked to prepare a tournament of this nature, you need to have a core group of people who are the ones who are going to supply you or give you the information. A communicator is as good as the information he gets given to communicate. If no one gives me information to communicate, I won't be able to communicate. Hence, each of the issues, I depend on the experts, the colleagues, either in IT&T or security or finance or transport accommodation, not only within the organizing committee, but within the provinces and the cities, so I can be able to communicate it. South Africa will never be the same again after the World Cup. So what we have learned, we need to impart it to other people. In our division, in each division, we are going to make sure that we archive all of the things that we've learned into material which we will use, anybody who wants them will use, and the future generation will use.
I don't look for personal legacy. That is for historians, you know, to write how they want to present it. Those people sitting there, the communication departments, they will write the stories. What you have to do is just to focus, what is the task at hand? What is it that you must do? Do it as efficiently as you can and get on with the work.